Hey guys, so this is Daryl from the Ignited Minds, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you guys 7 secrets to achieving higher creativity. People often go about attaining higher consciousness. Little do they know that higher creativity is as important. Do you want that crazy creativity level like Steve Jobs? The power to create anything? The universe is created in a way that we are the artists and creator of our own life. We want to paint it as beautifully, brightly and colorfully as possible. How can you paint a beautiful life without creativity? Have you noticed how some people have crazy imaginative and creativity level? Famous poet and playwright William Shakespeare and Spanish painter Pablo Picasso is one of the few examples. Ever wondered why? Creativity is built based on the things you do, what you are feeding your brains with, and how you are using them. When you're doing things like creating plays, a new product, painting, music, or even creating YouTube videos, you are working the part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is also responsible for decision making, planning, and higher creativity. And when you continue triggering it, magic happens. You find that things you once struggled with to do are now being done with so much less effort. Do note though that the prefrontal cortex closes up very quickly when it is not being used enough, and it takes a lot of effort and constant stimulation to be reawakened. Recent studies by neuroscience researchers experimented with 100 participants. They looked into the thinking processes and brain regions involved with creativity. The participants were given a certain object and asked to think of another function for it. They were given only 60 seconds per object, and the results were quite astonishing. Only 20% of the 100 participants were able to think of another function for the object within the 60 seconds given. They found out that 20% who succeeded were reported to have more creative hobbies and achievements as compared to the other 80 participants. So now I'm gonna give you guys 7 ways to spike and awaken your higher creativity. Number 1 is doing nothing. Sounds silly to you? Not too long ago, I was sitting alone at the beach at around 5 AM in the morning. I was doing nothing, just listening to the waves of the sea and breathing in the good-ass prana. Suddenly, this quote came to my mind and I wrote it down with the pen and notebook which I had brought. Sometimes it's better to do nothing and get something than to do something for nothing. What I'm trying to say here is that doing nothing with consciousness is better than doing something unconsciously just for the sake of doing it. The universe is a very magical place. As long as you are in the right frequency and state of consciousness, even when you are doing nothing, a magical thought or an idea will appear in your mind. That is the magic of having consciousness while doing nothing. It all comes down to your level of consciousness. When you are at full consciousness of your awareness, when you're doing nothing, you achieve way more than when you are doing something with little or no consciousness at all. Number 2 is waking up at 5 AM. It is the time of the day when everyone else is still sleeping. Waking up at 5 AM every day, going to Starbucks at 5:30 AM, or somewhere quiet and free of distractions is totally not overrated at all. 30 minutes just after you wake up is when your brain is at its peak level of concentration and creativity. Take this golden opportunity when you're free of distractions to pen your thoughts down, what I like to call thought dumping. Writing every interesting things or ideas that comes to your mind on a piece of paper or a journal. And this is where the magic happens. When you're thought dumping, there are bound to be some thoughts that are not worth dumping. Number 3 is putting away all your electronic devices. Living in the world of modern technology and smartphone is great. You can get easy access to almost anything via the internet. However, with such ease in acquiring dopamine, we are starting to become really lazy. Dopamine is an organic chemical that is being released in our brains when doing things that gives great pleasure and satisfaction, like exercising, eating, and accomplishing difficult tasks. It is so easily achieved these days with the internet that old-fashioned way where dopamine is being released by hard work is almost extinct. Not only is it distracting us, it is also killing the level of our creativity. Your electronic devices can either really be beneficial or counterproductive for you if you are using it the wrong way. We live in an age of great technology. We can make use of our devices to our advantages or let our devices use us, which is what many people are doing these days, being controlled by technology and social media. Only use your devices if you need it as a search engine, for understanding things you do not know, or for self-improvement. If you want to watch the latest series of Walking Dead, you can just do it at home. The thing about this era of modern technology is that too many people lack the discipline and self-control to study or work near the devices without being distracted. Higher creativity is achieved when you are 100% focused on a single task with no distractions at all. Ever notice how people in the past, in the non-technological era, were so much more creative than us? That is because the amount of distractions they have were a lot lesser back then as compared to now. Number 4 is planning and mind mapping. Unless you're a regular doer or thinker, not many people can do nothing and expect creativity to suddenly spike to its peak. Planning and mind mapping helps us visualize better and helps us see from the mind's point of view. It also sets the stage for us where creative thoughts become a lot easier to come in. Number 5 is don't rush. Rushing clearly leads to anxiety, depression, as well as making situations counterproductive. Ever notice you tend to make more mistakes and accidents when you rush, and everything seems to go the wrong way? When you focus without rushing, things will fall into place naturally. Rushing only repels your creative thoughts away from you. And number 6 is the food you feed your brain. Pablo Picasso is one of the many successful people who realized the importance of good brain food. His doctor prescribed him a diet of spinach and fish to boost the powers of his abstract thinking. If you're striving to attain higher creativity, you should start looking after your brain by feeding it properly. So here are 5 superfoods that fuel your brain with what it needs. Think of it as the premium V-Power over the standard diesel or 95. Number 1 is unprocessed food. Number 2 is fish. Number 3 is fresh fruits and vegetables. Number 4 is coffee and tea with moderation. Number 5 is nuts, beans, and seeds. Number 7 is stop multitasking. Know how your mind works. Multitasking is proven to drain your focus from you. Focus on one task at a time. Don't be like, okay, today I'm gonna wake up at 5 AM and I'm gonna go to Starbucks to paint a new painting, write a new article, as well as watch funny YouTube videos simultaneously. Do one thing at a time. You'll see your creativity level spike to a whole new level you never thought multitasking could ever take you to. So now for a quick recap on 7 secrets to attaining higher creativity. Number 1 is doing nothing. The universe is a very magical place. As long as you are in the right frequency and state of consciousness, even when you are doing nothing, a magical thought or an idea will appear in your mind. That is the magic of having consciousness while doing nothing. Number 2 is waking up at 5 AM. 30 minutes just after you wake up is when your brain is at its best and its peak level of concentration and creativity. Take this golden opportunity when you're free of distractions to pen your thoughts down. And number 3 is putting away all your electronic devices. We live in an age of great technology. We can make use of our devices to our advantages or let our devices use us. Number 4 is planning and mind mapping. Planning and mind mapping helps us visualize better and helps us see from the mind's point of view. It also sets the stage for us where creative thoughts become a lot easier to come in. Number 5 is stop rushing. Ever notice you tend to make more mistakes and accidents when you rush and everything seems to go the wrong way? When you focus without rushing, things will fall into place naturally. Rushing only repels your creative thoughts away from you. Number 6 is the food you feed your brain. Pablo Picasso is one of the many successful people who realized the importance of good brain food. If you're striving to attain higher creativity, you should start looking after your brain by feeding it properly. And last but not least, number 7. Stop multitasking. Multitasking is proven to drain your focus from you. Do one thing at a time, and you'll see your creativity level spike to a whole new level you never thought multitasking could ever take you to. Thank you for watching, and be sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more awesome weekly contents. And if you haven't checked out my previous video on Yin and Yang is no bullshit and the art of controlling your inner Satan, be sure to check it out. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and share this video. Stay tuned.